So I understand I might be making this video prematurely, but I am kind of passionate low-key about this project. What am I talking about? Like it's a school freaking project. I'm low-key passionate about what the Essendon Football Club are doing right now. And I'm not even an Essendon fan. As most of you guys know, I'm a massive Richmond fan. But I've been thinking as of late. I recently just went and saw the new Superman movie. Like how goated is that? JB dropped randomly out of nowhere, and I've been enjoying life, and I've been thinking, we're going to do a positive video here, and there's a lot of positive things going on right now with the Essendon Football Club. I mean, they're not really like winning per se, but the thing with Essendon right now is they're doing something that they should have done a long time ago, right? And I think what I mean by that is that Essendon for like the last 5 to 10 years have always been kind of stuck in no man's land. They've been like 8th to 13th every year, and they're never bad enough to have like a really, really good pick, but they're never good enough to like win a final. And there's been a lot of reasons for that. Again, a lot of Essendon has been really under pressure, and a lot of people just straight up don't want to lose their job. Again, they know that for the longest time there, if they were at least just somewhat relevant, that would be enough for them to, keep their jobs, whoever it might be at the Essendon Football Club, and, keep the fans mildly happy. But I think as the years have gone on, more fans have been more and more angry that they're just not moving anywhere. And where this has become a positive is, I think Brad Scott and Essendon collectively have said, look, I will go much younger. I will try and start this new rebuild on the run phase, just as long as you guys have my back and you don't fire me over a couple bad years, because there might be a couple bad years with all these young players that I'm going to play. And I think that's what Essendon said yes to. They're also kind of forced to do this. Essendon have had 1,897 billion different injuries, and they've had to hit the mid-season draft. They've had to play young players who they probably thought weren't ready, and a lot of these young players have actually looked really good and have definitely outshone what they probably thought they were going to be. So Essendon, for the first time in like 10 years, are in a situation where they can finally be like, look, we're not pressured to be 13 to 8 every year at the moment. Our fans know that we're not getting anywhere, and we dramatically need to do something different. And that's what they've done. I think going into next year as well, now that they have all these young players and good mid-season pickups and draftees that have come in, I think there are going to be a lot of older players who just don't get picked for these younger players to come through and flourish. Again, Dylan Shield is a big one. I think next year, I can't really see a guy like Dylan Shield getting a game over these younger players, because they need to develop and they can get better, and Dylan Shield's only going to get worse. Same thing says about Jade Gresham. I can't see Jade Gresham consistently getting games, a whole lot next year. Todd Goldstein, he'll be happy to go on the VFL and help develop these younger boys when they get their ruckman back. Again, there's going to be a lot of these older players who I think are going to be moved on for these younger players. And to me, I know we're looking a little bit in the future here, but I wouldn't be surprised, especially with Essendon's upcoming draft picks that will be guaranteed 2 top 10 picks in the 2025 AFL draft. I wouldn't be surprised if they use them, go the best available, integrate them into their team next year, and then I think for 2026, they will absolutely go balls to the wall to try and get Harley Reid. I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine having that young core of Harley Reid, Zach Reid, of course, Nate Caddy, Isaac Keiko, probably pick like 4 and pick 7, whatever they get back in this draft, amongst a bunch of the other young players they have, like Angus Clark coming in, freaking Dermot Burton's, stepson or whatever he is, Archer May. Again, this guy has come out of nowhere in the mid-season draft and is looking like a really good, young, promising key forward. Again, you've got all of this talent and all of these players. And the best part is that Brad Scott knows that the football club are not going to pressure him. They're not going to fire him if he just goes and plays these young players, maybe stink it out for a year or two, but just make sure that now the future is finally going to be bright. The future could finally see an actual finals run going forward. I mean, there are a lot of promising things going on with Essendon. It looks like they're also... Shit, I just freaking punched my mic without consent. There are a lot of really good things they're doing, like positional-wise, that, you know, they're able to fix here. Again, they thought Peter Wright was going to be the full forward long-term. They traded him in. He was for like a year or two, and it kind of didn't really work out. And now he looks like he's just going to be a role player, which is fine. Ben Mackay looks like he's going to be, you know, he's obviously a lot of money. And the reality of Ben Mackay and the issue with him so far is they brought him to be a key defender, but the reason he's kind of looked bad is because in his mind, he's playing as a key defender and he's had to play, you know, as a third man, and he's had to play as an interceptor, all of this, and it's kind of shown in his footy, and he doesn't look that good because he's trying to play in multiple positions. But again, Zach Reid now being down there, a young guy, has been able to help him and make him a better player when Zach Reid is healthy, because now Ben Mackay doesn't have to worry and do so much. The same can be said about 2 Meter Peter. 2 Meter Peter had a really bad year last year when he kind of had to do everything by himself. But now he's got Nate Caddy to help him. Now he's got Archer May to come and help him. These young guys who are taking a little bit more pressure off him and are really helping out are very good. You got other players that are filling in positional needs now. Durham has finally been a midfielder that they can semi-rely on, whose name is not Zach Merritt. Isaac Keiko, you finally brought in a small forward who's actually looks like he's going to be really solid for the future. Again, you thought Jade Gresham was going to be that guy. He's definitely not that guy. You thought maybe a couple others were going to be that guy. Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody, they probably thought would still be playing right now, doing some good stuff. He unfortunately isn't. But they were able to finally find a guy in the draft that can fill in this positional need and actually do really, really well. So, again, not only have they kind of gone best available and they've kind of done really good in the draft so far, but luckily for them, a lot of the players have actually been positional needs. Zach Reid was a key defender that they've really needed, and he's finally coming through. Nate Caddy was a key forward they really needed. He's finally coming through and looks really good. Isaac Keiko, they desperately need a small forward. You bring a guy in, and he's finally what that solution is and what they needed. There are so many good and positive things going on right now with Essendon that I think in a year or two, when they actually decide to go and hit free agency in the trade target, you know, trade period really good, they could really come out with someone. Again, one bloke I'm looking at in particular who would have to be getting excited right now would be Zach Butters. Again, I think personally Zach Butters will probably re-sign with Port Adelaide. But the reality is he's going to be looking for a lot of big deals. A Melbourne club is going to come really hard for him. A lot of them are. We know this. And if it was Essendon, if Essendon offered him a big deal and brought him into the team, as well as, you know, of course, their 2 top 10 picks they're already getting in this year, they bring in maybe Zach Butters next year. Oh my God, like, things are really starting to look up for the Bombers. They're finally trending towards the right direction. They are doing something that they probably should have done years ago that I think everyone and their dad at the footy club was just, unfortunately, really scared to do. But they're finally doing it. They're finally kind of trying to do this little rebuild on the run thing, but also more set into an actual proper rebuild. And it looks like it might genuinely work out, and hopefully for the first time for them, genuinely work out for the better and turn into an actual finals run that has them winning their first finals game in like freaking 25 years. And yeah, that's the prospect we are currently looking at right now, which is really awesome. So I'm excited to see how this, of course, all does unfold and more. Again, I might be going a little bit early on this. Could Essendon just absolutely flunk out and go back to their old ways next year when they get their players back from injury? I mean, yeah, they definitely could. Unfortunately, Essendon hasn't been that trustworthy and reliable. But I'm really hoping this is the first time they finally see that you're not going anywhere. Might as well play some young players and bring some youth in and see if they can take your club to the next step. Again, as I was saying, I very much like to hear all your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all those AFL content, AFL news, all of the above. Again, subscribe to my gaming/movie channel, which will be getting linked down below. Follow my Instagram, which will also be getting linked down below. And I guess I'll be seeing you guys next time. Goodbye.